Hello and welcome back to Control-Alt-Doodle. Today I'll be setting up my bullet journal for February and continuing my indie games journal theme for the whole year. We're going to do an Undertale theme for February. So first of all, we're just going to be adding some black paper to cover every page. This is dot grid black paper from Archer and Olive. Now this will make the book quite chunky, but I think it really... So first of all, we're just going to write the title in sort of the Undertale title font, just writing February like that, in the white Posca pen. I decided I wanted to do Undertale for February because, February is my birthday month, and this month I will be turning 30. And Undertale is a great game, and one of my favorite lines from it is right near the end, despite everything, it's still you. And I sort of thought that was a really nice sentiment to bring into I'm going to be turning 30, it feels like a bit of a landmark, and yeah, so I thought thematically that would be pretty good. And then also the recurring heart to sort of stand in for yourself throughout Undertale sort of fit very well with the, Valentine-y February month. Once that was all colored in, I added another line along the bottom just to make all the letters sort of even, and then using a red Posca pen, added the little red heart in the middle there. And then underneath the title, I'm just using a white acrylograph pen from Archer and Olive to write "Stay Determined," the recurring phrase from Undertale, every time you die, but then it, encourages you to keep going, and I like that a lot. As I was adding a second layer to just clean things up a little bit, I may have smeared the M a little bit, but using a Sakura pen, you can kind of go over that and clean it up, and you can barely tell that it was ever smudged in the first place. So switching to my calendar page, and I am actually using a ruler this time because I found the dot grid was a little bit harder to see on the black paper to eyeball the lines. But my idea here was sort of to make the gold box in the bottom that I like to keep looking sort of like the text box in the game. And then around the calendar I wanted to add some of these little bones like you would have in the boss fights with Papyrus or with Sans, just to add a little bit of decoration to a largely empty page. I think it worked out pretty well. Just using a light blue acrylograph here to add a couple different bones to change it up a little bit, and then also the red Posca pen to add the heart. And then using the white acrylographs again, we're just going to write the days of the week along the top of the calendar, and also use it to title the goals box. So I like to keep a couple of my overall goals for the year and then narrow it down to just 3 for the month that I want to focus on. And that feels like a really good way to not get overwhelmed by the things that I would like to do, while still keeping on track with the overall goals for the year. And then finally, we're just going to number the days with a white Jelly Roll pen. This is the number 10 size, and it's the same one that I used to outline the box and the calendar. Flipping to the next page, which is the page I usually use for mental health related things. So on the left hand side, we're going to have my, I used to call it the gratitudes page. I'm renaming it as the positivities page, where each day I try to write down one thing that I'm happy about, thankful for, or something that's just, encouraging or just makes me smile. And then on the right-hand side is going to be some trackers. I know most people will use these for habit trackers, which is very useful for a lot of people, but for me, I find I like to use the trackers to track mental health symptoms for various things, such as panic attacks or checking loops, and then the last couple I save for medication to just have a place to make sure I am taking them and can remember that I have taken them. Finally, to decorate this page, we're going to take a light blue Posca pen, and I wanted these to look like the echo flowers that you can find in the cave in the game. So we're just going to add a couple of these around the sides, and then also going to use some white pens to add a little bit of sparkle to add to the effect of the cave as well. I actually realized while editing this that I'm adding some of the blue Posca pen to sort of fill in the days of the calendar there that don't exist, the sort of blank space, but I forgot to add them at the bottom of the calendar. So it is there now, but I didn't notice till editing this that I completely forgot. So here we are, just adding some sparkles and dots with the white acrylograph pen. I thought the cave with the echo flowers was a pretty good theme to go with for specifically my mental health pages, just because I personally find that area of the game extremely soothing and relaxing, and I thought that would be a good vibe to bring into this whole spread. And then once I've numbered the days of the month along the positivity page, I thought it could use some decoration as well, so I'm just adding an extra echo flower and some more little sparkles. Then on to the next page, which is going to be the first of my weekly spreads, but also adding a couple of boxes here for media-related things. The one on the top is going to be things that I want to specifically read, watch, check out this month, and then the one on the bottom will be for any highlights that stand out. Now, as I was adding the black paper to all of the pages for this spread, I thought it would be easier to cut the pages to what I wanted to use them for at the same time. So I've decided for the weeklies I would cut out the bottom of all of the pages so that I could have the same decoration that would carry across all of them. So every day of the month I can still see the artwork that I'm going to be adding along the bottom there. And then I thought I would just add some regular white tabs just to keep it all looking very simple and neat and quite in the style of the game. As I was adding the days of the week along the top, I realized that I should have started with Wednesday because it's not a full week on this first page here. But luckily, once it dried, I went over with the Sakura pen and it covered it up really well. And once you add the white pen, the white acrylograph over the top again, you can barely tell that there was ever a mistake, which is pretty cool. Finally, for the artwork that's going to be along the bottom of all of the weekly pages, I wanted it to look like a collection of the golden flowers that are a recurring icon through the game. So first I took a brown Posca pen and added just the little dots to be the centers of the flowers, and I sort of randomly spaced these out just to make little clusters, and then using a yellow Posca pen just loosely drew some flowers around them to just make the collection and sort of make it look a little random, but, you know, organized. Once I had the shapes of the flowers, I'm just coloring them all in with the yellow Posca pen. Once those were all colored in and I had done another coat of the yellow after it had all dried, I went in with a very fine tip Sakura Micron pen to just add a little bit of detail to the centers of the flowers and also some definition between the petals, and I think it just really finished the whole look. And yeah, I'm extremely happy with how this particular spread turned out. It's been a lot of fun to use so far this month as well. I wasn't really sure how the weeklies were going to work for me with having to use white pen on the black paper, but it's actually been quite a lot of fun. I'm really enjoying it. So I might do it again in the future. The only thing I will say is if you ever decide to use black paper for your own planners or journals, make sure you have a black pen as well, so you can add stuff to any of the yearly pages that you set up at the start, because there's been a couple times that I've realized I want to add something and haven't had a pen to do that. But, you know, you live and you learn. So flipping to the last page of the weekly spreads, so just adding the last 2 days of the month there, and then I wanted to add a little space to write a little reflection on the whole month. And then finally in this last text box I wanted to add that quote that I really enjoy, the "Despite everything, it's still you." And then just under that, I left blank because I always like to have a little space for just general note-taking. And to be honest, I probably could have used more space because it's almost full already. But what are you going to do? And there we are. So flipping back to the beginning, we'll just do a whole flip through of this setup. It's very simple and it did not take very long to set up at all, but I really like the way it turned out, and I think it really evokes Undertale in the simplicity of the look. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you in the next one.